Well, hi everybody. I just harvested some Swiss chard. And I'm in the process of washing it and gonna cook it. It was getting awfully big in the garden, and I said, well, it needs to be harvested because the container it's in was not that big. So this is all that I harvested, big old armful or handful. And I decided, well, since I harvested it, I would go ahead and cook it for dinner tonight. And I just got out of the shower. My hair is still wet. So you'll have to overlook me. I got hot water on. I didn't want hot water. I wanted cold water. But I am cutting most of these stems out of them because those things get so hard that a lot of times they don't cook. So you can see I took that whole stem out of that one. These big ones like this, I basically cut up the stem and come right up the back of it and get most of that thick stem out of it. That stem is great to put back in your compost or put in a pot when you're building your soil. So that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting the stems out. Or most of the stem. And then I'm washing it off. The little ones are not that hard. You can just kind of break the stem out. Swiss chard, though, it ends up with some really big leaves, so when you harvest one plant, you've got a ton of leaves. But again, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just coming down the back, the spine of it with the knife, and I'm cutting that spine out, or that stem, the biggest part of it anyway. I'm making a mess over here. As I said, I'm just not set up to film. mean, I like Swiss chard, I think sometimes better than I do spinach or some of the other greens. I managed to get out there and put just a little bit of Epsom salts to some of my plants. Because stuff like blueberries, if the soil is too acidic or not acidic enough, the blueberry bush won't grow. So I like to put just maybe a teaspoonful to each plant. I mean, if you don't have blueberries growing or something like that, you don't have to, but I like to put a little bit to mine. That and the combination with the compost tea just works wonders for your plants. But like I said, it's not something that you have to do. It makes a difference in my blueberry plant than when I do it, because it changes the soil to what that blueberry plant needs. Yeah, I figured if I took my time, stopped and rested off and on, that's why I didn't try to film it. I wasn't sure how far I'd get. But Epsom salts is not that expensive. You could probably get one small bag of it, and that'd be enough for your whole garden. And I leave my water running while I'm doing this. You don't have to. It's just preference. Because I'm washing my plant or my leaf as I go. I mean, those are some pretty big leaves. Most of them are. I mean, you might cut into some of the leaf, but that's okay. Just get that stem out. Because those stems don't cook very well. Now, made a mess back here. Leave that right there for right this minute. Now I got me a really big frying pan that I've got a lid to it. And this dress keeps working its way up to my neck. It's a clingy dress, and I don't need to be wearing a clingy dress, I guess, because let's face it, I'm not skinny, so not skinny anymore anyway. Well, I got a little bit of fresh garlic, but I think I'm going to use my crushed garlic. I got bacon grease right here. Now, I'll probably cook me a hamburger patty, like a hamburger steak, to go with this. But I wanted you to see how I'm going to do this, so. And that should be plenty. I just got a couple of tablespoons of oil in there. Where's my drink? I am perishing for something to drink. Oh, that lemonade's good. Turn my exhaust fan on. And I gotta come over here and turn my other fan on. That'll help blow some of this hot air out of here. And while that's heating, all I'm going to do is dice up just a little bit of onion. I'm not even going to get the cutting board out. I mean, I got it out, but I don't think I'm going to use it. About a half an onion. It really doesn't matter. You can put as much or as little amount as you want in there. And I'm going to put just a little bit of garlic. And like I said, you know, if you don't like garlic, don't use garlic. And one thing I forgot to get was crushed red pepper, if I can find it. just enough to spice it up a little bit. And where is my... Put it in the drawer and I didn't realize it. Didn't mean to put it in the drawer. And again, I don't want to cook that so much it's going to burn the garlic. So I may just turn my heat down a little bit. Oh, I'm tired. I was out there I made it around the garden, like I said, off and on. I'd stop and rest. And I got the Epsom salts put to each plant. Just about a little level teaspoonful. It doesn't take much. And it's supposed to rain in a day or two. In fact, it looked like it wants to rain now, but I don't know. It's not supposed to, I don't think. But I said it's there. And when it rains, it can wash it in. I do need to get another small bag of that to put out at my rock garden because my rose bushes out there could use a little bit of Epsom salts. So maybe when I go to the store and buy some stuff, I'll pick up another small bag of Epsom salts. It's not expensive. And it's not a chemical, so it's not going to hurt your plants. It's not going to hurt you. Like I said, we're going to cook those onions just a tiny bit. My back wants to cramp. Okay, now what I'm going to do, because those are kind of turning clear, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut them up, cut the leaf up a little bit as I put them in the pan. That way, you know, I don't have a great big old leaf in there. You can chop it up on a cutting board or however you want to do it. I don't like it in too big of pieces. I mean, you can just break it up with your hand too if you want. It's up to you. I may do that. And just tear it up. I mostly do lettuce like that too when I'm gonna make a salad. And it does have a little bit of water on it where I washed it, but that doesn't care. I mean, that doesn't matter. You may have to add a little bit of water to this before it's cooked anyway. But it's not something that's you got to be precise about. Just break it up into the smaller pieces so when it cooks, it's not in a big clump, you know. Nobody likes their vegetables in a big clump. I certainly don't. Now this Swiss chard goes good with cornbread, any kind of meat, like pork chops or beef. Basically anything you want to serve it with. Just like your spinach. Going to make a pretty good sized pan, but you know it does cook down, so it's not going to seem like that much once it's cooked down a little bit. I figured that bacon grease would flavor it just a tiny bit. But you can certainly use your olive oil or your grapeseed oil or vegetable oil, whatever you want to use. My hair is wanting to fall in my face. But I had, like I said, I just took a shower because it got all sweaty outside. I mean, just walking a little bit, you get hot. It's hot and humid outside. So I had to come in and shampoo my hair and take a shower. And then I didn't want to kill time because I wanted to cook this for dinner. But I also wanted to video it. So you got me with wet hair. And this was all off of that one big Swiss chard plant that was in that 5-gallon bucket. I trimmed it back so it'll start putting out more leaves, new leaves. And then I can harvest the other ones while that one's growing. So they should keep me in Swiss chard. Plus I got my cabbages and stuff like that to harvest. I mean, that is a big leaf right there. Look at that. Look at the size of that leaf. And the stem is already cut out of it. I mean, the little tender stem I leave, but the major stem I take out. I think I'm going to have to put just a tiny bit of water in there. That garlic and stuff that was in there to begin with, it smells really good. and that little bit of red pepper, that'll just give it just a little bit of kick. It's not real hot because I didn't put that much in there, but it should give it a little bit of a kick. If you got pepper flakes, you can put them in there. Now, simply try to put my lid on it a little bit. And we gotta cook it. It was either do this video with my hair wet or not get it done, so I chose to go ahead and do it. I don't like to use the hair dryer unless I have to, because my skin is dry anyway. And the hair dryer just makes it drier. My scalp and everything. So I prefer not to use the hair dryer. Now if my hair is real wet at night before I go to bed, then I will use the hair dryer to get it dry. Because I don't want to go to bed with wet hair. Whew. Everybody got a big weekend planned this holiday weekend? Like I said, it's my son's birthday Monday, the 29th. My oldest brother's birthday is tomorrow, the 27th. And mine was the 7th of this month. So we had three May babies in the family. So, and it doesn't take too long to cook that, just like spinach. You know, spinach doesn't take a long time. Now, if we hadn't cut those stems out, it would have taken a really long time. See if I can turn some of this over. I'll have enough greens to last me a few days, won't I? But that's okay. I try to eat greens every day, or at least I try to fix me a smoothie with greens in it and get my daily dose of greens. But that's a big pan full of greens right there. Big old pan full. It's already hot in here with the stove going. It's not as hot though outside as it's been being. It's just humid. I think it's been like 80. Bend over to the side, see if I can get that thing pulled back out a little bit. I should not have been out there doing what I was doing, but I wanted to harvest that Swiss chard. And I can't harvest Swiss chard sitting in the house with my feet up, so. Because I'm paying for it now. I mean. I think tomorrow I'm going to harvest some of my squash. I've got probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 little squash that's big enough to harvest. So I'll harvest some of those and cook them. But the Swiss chard, it cooks, if you cut those stems out, it cooks more like the spinach does, not quite as fast as the spinach. But it does cook fairly quick. And you notice I'm not putting salt. I'd rather wait till I get it cooked, taste it, because greens have a way, if you salt them when you're cooking them, they hold that salt, and sometimes it's real easy to get them way too salty. So I'll wait. With the onion and the garlic and those hot crushed peppers, that might be just enough seasoning there that I don't need anything else. Put my stool over here so I can sit down while we're cooking. Oh. And I don't know why. I like this dress. I like the pattern in it. But the designer did not know what they were doing. They put the darkest color at the bottom, the medium dark to the top, and the white in the middle. That is totally off. If you know anything about design, especially in dresses, things people are going to wear, you never put the white in the middle. You put the white at the bottom, or you put the white at the top. You put the dark color in the middle because that makes your waist look smaller. You put the white in the middle, it makes your waist look like it's that wide. I mean, look how wide it looks. Yeah, the designer did not know what they were doing when they used this material and arranged it this way. It had been so much more figure flattering to have the dark in the center, the white at the top, and maybe the multicolor at the bottom. Like I know a lot about design, huh? I still like the dress, even if it does make me look a lot bigger than what I am. Oh, that helped sit down and relieve the pressure on my lower back for a minute. Oh, and I found a tomato plant, a Brandywine tomato plant. You know that tote that's out at the back side of the garden that's behind the compost bin that turns, that Miracle Grow compost bin? Well, I noticed when I was out there putting a little bit of Epsom salts in that tub to the tomato plant, there was a tomato plant on the ground. It's where one of the little the Brandywine tomatoes dropped. The seed ended up on the ground, and that tomato plant came up in the ground. So I dug it up. I mean, it was like that tall. I mean, I almost stepped on it before I saw it. So I dug it out so I could keep the roots intact. And I planted it in one of the totes up there that had, other tomatoes or peppers and stuff in it. So I thought that was kind of neat. I'm always getting free plants like that. I'm always getting plants that just pop up out of the tote or the ground where the seeds have fallen, which is a really neat thing to do. And I did tie up some of my shark fin squash and my winter squash and my cucumbers. I still had some of those that needed to be trellised. One needed to be trellised really bad because it was already growing across the yard, and I didn't have wood chips back there where it was growing. So that meant every time it rained, it just splattered that dirt, and the bugs would get on the vine and all this. So that was the very first one I went out there and trellised. I put those tomato stakes in the tote, and then I made like a teepee, and I went and pulled that vine up off the ground. The thing was about 10 foot long, and I wrapped it around that teepee trellis to get it off the ground. And I did have to spray it with that vegetable spray to get some of those bugs off the leaves because it was covered, just because it was on the ground. That's one reason I like to put wood chips in the garden area. And if I have wood chips down, I don't mind if the squash vine or the watermelon vine grows over it, because it doesn't get those bugs on it like it does if it's growing across on the dirt. That's one reason I like the wood chips. The other is it helps keep the ground damp in the pots, the totes, and everything else if you put wood chips in there to help keep the moisture in. But yeah, wood chips are a life changer for your garden. Your totes. Oh, just sitting down there, I don't know if I'm going to be able to straighten up. As I said, my hair is, I think I need a fork. This will work better with a fork than it will that spatula, I think, to turn these. To get some of those onions stirred up in there. Oh, it smells so good. It smells wonderful, y'all. It's not quite done. It needs to be in there for a little while longer. Not much, but a while longer. A lot of times with my hair in the summer, I'll shampoo it, brush it out, let it dry, and then I just pull it up. That's one reason I hate to cut it in the summertime. Because I'm always doing stuff in the yard, and I'm always sweating. I'm wet with perspiration. And it seems so good just to be able to pull your hair up in a ponytail or tie it up in a knot on top of your head, because it's so much cooler that way. And I noticed out there in the potato bin, I've got a shark fin squash coming up in there. And I've got another, I don't know if it's a melon, zucchini, or what it is. So I said, I'm going to leave it because I'm pretty soon going to pull the potatoes out of that bin and see if I have potatoes, because the plants are flowering and some of them are kind of like wilting down. So I'm going to wait till the potato plant, the tops die off, and then I'm going to dig out potatoes and see if I've got potatoes in there. And I'll try not to disrupt the roots to the shark fin squash or the other plant that's growing in there. That way that can stay in there and grow even after I dig out the potatoes. Isn't this neat? You get garden tips even while I'm cooking something. But that's what my channel's all about, is growing what you eat and how you cook what you eat. So I get my video done and I get my kitchen cleaned up. I got to run to the store, pick up just one or two things that I'm out of, like toilet tissue for one. People can't survive without toilet tissue. You got to have that. So that's the main thing. I'm going to just run to the closest store that I can go to and pick that up. Don't care if I get anything else, but that's the main thing I need to go get. I don't want to spend the holiday weekend with no toilet tissue in the house. That would be bad. Oh. At least I got out there and did just a little bit of something. I mean, I may pay for it dearly tonight when I go to sleep and try to get up in the morning, but I mean, I've been laying around and sitting around for over a week, and I felt somewhat better today. My leg and back was letting me do a little bit more, so I got out there and took care of business. I was watching Roots and Refuge, one of their vlogs. Was it yesterday or day before? And Jess's husband come out and he kind of did like this in front of his shirt, you know, like covering his stomach up. And I wondered, you know, well, what is he doing that for? And Jess said something about, oh, you wore your cloud shirt. You're wearing your cloud shirt. Well, I didn't know what they're talking about. It's like a cloud shirt. I figured, well, they got some kind of new t-shirt they're selling on their website pertaining to Roots and Refuge that was a cloud shirt or something. Come to find out, a cloud shirt is any shirt that is probably 15 to 20 years old, almost threadbare, has holes in the front, but it's the most comfortable shirt you've got. So that's a cloud shirt. And I thought to myself, well, Jess, I've got lots of cloud shirts. I wear most of them out in the garden when I'm working because they've got little holes in the stomach where I bent over, like if I had on a pair of blue jeans, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced it. If you got on a pair of blue jeans with that metal snap or button that's at the top, if you have to bend over a counter and your shirt is between the counter and that little button or snap, it'll put a hole in your shirt in a heartbeat. I have got so many t-shirts, nothing wrong with the t-shirts except I've worn them with jeans and caught them between the counter and the snap, and I've ended up with little holes right around there. So I've got cloud shirts. I thought that was kind of cute. I said, well, I've been wearing cloud shirts and I didn't even know it. And I'm sure a lot of other people have too. I should be drinking water, not lemonade, but lemonade is water, but just the plain old water is the best for you to drink when you come in and you're hot and had been sweaty and you're thirsty. I always call my shirts like that, my holy shirt. I said, I've got religious shirts. They're called holy shirts. They're the ones I work in the garden and they have little holes all around the front. But yet they're still okay to wear, you know. I mean, you can have a brand new shirt, have on a pair of blue jeans, get that shirt caught between the snap and the counter when you bend over, like when I go to turn that light on, I'm so short, and you end up with a little hole from the snap. Brand new shirt. So, you know, I don't want to get rid of a shirt after wearing it one time just because I got a little hole in the front from that snap putting a hole. So I wear them. And I've been calling them my holy shirts. But I guess now I know they're cloud shirts. A lot of people out there have cloud shirts, don't they? Oh. Yep, it's cooking down now. Won't be long. So we learned something new today. We learned what a cloud shirt is. Maya, I couldn't remember his name because Jess is always calling him Sweet Maya. Sweet Maya. They're a sweet couple. I don't watch them all the time, but every once in a while I'll catch one of their Roots and Refuge videos. Phone ringing. Gotta try a piece and see how done it's getting. Yeah. That's just enough of that crushed red pepper. Just enough to spice it up, not enough to get it hot. So that's pretty good. Sometimes I like to take mine and put it in a bowl and then use my chopper, my hand chopper, just to chop it up a little bit. I need for it to cook just a little bit more. Now you don't have to, but growing up, I always watched my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, when they cooked greens or collards. When they got them cooked in the pan, they would put them in a bowl and then chop them up, especially collards. So, I mean, you could do this the same way, or you could just leave it like it is, because breaking it up the way I did, it's in small enough pieces that you don't have to chop it up. Oh man. Yeah, we got rain the other night, and we weren't supposed to get rain. I heard it thunder off in the distance, and this was after I went to bed. Don't know what time it was. And the thunder kept getting closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, I could hear the rain hitting the house. And I said, it's raining. Wasn't even supposed to rain. But I was glad it did. Oh, oh, oh. But that's all there is to cooking you a pan full of Swiss chard. Cooks almost up as easy as spinach. Put some water in that pan so everything just doesn't dry and cook to the pan. But there we go. A bowl full of Swiss chard, and it was just that easy to cook it. And it tastes pretty good too, with that little bit of crushed red pepper, the onions, the sauteed onions and garlic. That's all the seasoning you need in there. You don't need nothing else. So, there is your Swiss chard. Don't that look good?